Welcome everybody to the Quake World Championships, the B stream, but not the B team. I am 40 Lines with ZSX, and we are on land, so I can do this, and it's fantastic. And we're bringing you group play today, starting off with Tox and GARPY.
Just get me out of here, guys. Tox and GARPY. I think we calculated the average age of this game is 80.
Yeah, just about.
Average total age.
Wheelchairs are ready just in case assistance is standing by.
Yeah, carry them out of here. But no, it's going to be a good one. I mean, it's nice to see. GARPY back at this stage. It's nice to see Tox, well, hopefully living up to expectations once again. This is the retirement home group, and he's in a really good shot actually to get out of it, but he has to go through GARPY, and I'm honest, I don't really know what to expect from GARPY. We know when he turns up to play, he is somebody that can put in a competitive performance. I'm just being a little bit humble there, but we also know what Tox can bring to the server as well. And, I think that's obviously what everyone's looking at. Is Tox going to turn up? Is he going to play? He generally does turn up on LAN. So let's see if we can continue that.
We'll see. The environment is set, and as we always do on the B stream, we're quick. No frills here, no graphics, just our voiceover and the sweet, sweet gameplay. But real quick, for those playing the home version, Blood Covenant, Runes of Sarnath, Molten Falls are the best of 3. And again, contrary to the regular season, best of 3, you win 2 in a row, you're done. There is no third map consolation here, folks.
And, with the 3-person group, it is every map counts. If you lose a single series, it could be game over. Yep. So, this is a big one. We're starting the day off with Tox versus GARPY. What is your prediction? I'm going to ask you. We're here now. You can't avoid me anymore.
I think GARPY's Rockets, man. I think they're going to prevail. Maybe not on Blood Covenant specifically, but overall in the series, I think he has it. And we're just going to hop right into it, and we're live. Tox on the Athena, GARPY on the Nyx on Blood Covenant map number 1 for this group.
I mean, I'm just going to say you are wrong, but I'll give it to you anyway.
That's fine. That's fine. We could chat about it afterwards. Nice slow start here from both players.
I mean, that's what you want as a Nyx. You're saying you expect GARPY to win. He wants that slower game. With the Athena, you can play that. Obviously, you have the capability with those grapples to raise the tempo as and when you need it. But definitely favors the Nyx if it's going to be that slower paced game. Tox on the opposite of the map. He needs that rail, and he has a lot of utility to get there. And we've seen in previous weeks that Tox, as long as he has a tri-bolt, it's actually all right. So
that's the Tox bolt from now on. It is absolutely branded that, and for good reason. He might put it on display here. A little bit of a hook mishap here, and that actually leads to a rail for GARPY, but there we go. Tri-bolt clapback, just for a little bit of damage, but just to put him on notice.
Yeah, but that is huge, because not only did he take the damage, which sets him back for this next round of rotations.
No rail.
Look at the split, no rail. And that could be definitive now. The Nyx has that high ground. Tox is in a little bit of trouble if he actually wants to try and contest this. GARPY's left up the heavy in order to do exactly that, to pressure this, but that might have been a mistake. He's given too much breathing room. That will allow Tox back into the map, but still no rail.
So how long will Tox have to suffer without this rail, and can he make it work? You see he's trying to creep over there, and GARPY just doing a great job of constantly denying.
Well, that's the game plan now. You said we started with a slow game. It's going to continue to be a slow game until Tox can get across to that point in the map. He just doesn't want to contest it, and man, that's sloppy from GARPY. Making such a jump, giving up position, giving up the rail. Just the most he was going to get out of that situation was a rail, and now he's allowed Tox back into this. We know how powerful his rail can be already. We're seeing the tempo raise, and that's exactly what Tox wants to do. We know how much he wants to play quick. Now he has everything in his arsenal to be able to do that.
Big rocket there from GARPY. Misses with the rail, and Tox kind of has a position here to dictate what to do as GARPY's back is against the wall, so he can take this upper armor. He still has the cutoff here on GARPY as well. There's some warning rockets. One hook almost in the pocket as well. So Tox can kind of take over the map here. Heavy is the next item. He's going to go through the telly, potentially to make his way over. I think he heard the Nyx jump. This could be a huge battle here. A little bit of damage. GARPY stuck against the wall. Lucky to get out alive.
I think GARPY has almost shown too much respect to Tox in these situations, by allowing him back onto the map. Very easy. Tox didn't have to work for that. And that's a bit of a problem, because GARPY, yes, he's got the Ghost Wall back up, but Tox has only really been posturing so far. He's already had GARPY on the ropes in certain situations, so that's a bit worrying. GARPY is opening 2.5 to 3 minutes.
Yeah, a little bit rough, but again, no frag on the board. A lot at stake here.
Yeah, let's not forget how much it means to these players. For all the jokes we make, they're still here, they're still competing, they still want to be in this tournament. And it's, early tournament nerves. It's been a while since we've been back in this LAN situation. And no matter how much experience they have, and these two combined probably have more experience on LAN than most of the QPL put together, that doesn't matter. It still affects you. They're still human.
And they're both wearing 4 or 5 sweaters because it is freezing in here. A big rocket, absolutely huge defensive rocket from Toxic as GARPY wanted to cut off, really deal some damage. Toxic said no. Mega is up, as it's going to be a mad dash. Toxic making his way over through the pillars. GARPY coming up from behind on the rockets. No attempted damage. There's a little bit, but doesn't land any. Toxic, again, kind of gets away with it. He's kind of having his way around the map. Great rail as well. Tribal comes up short. GARPY still trying to find some footing, it feels like.
You can see the rhythm we've set it into on this map now. And the question is Tox going to try and push this? Get in that rail. And to appreciate how important any singular rail is, underground damage on a light versus light is fundamental to shifting the balance of power in the duel itself. And GARPY's done well enough to stabilize. Tox not willing to take that additional risk, and you have to counter it. Now a big rail, big hook coming in, forces the Ghost Walker. That's what he wants. He's gonna guess right. No, GARPY gets away, but actually double back himself. Gonna take an engagement, but with that choke point in play, Tox has to be a little bit careful. He has no grapples if he does actually find himself in a sticky situation. And if he had a grapple, I would say he would have pushed, but we're still back into this slow dichotomy. Trading these items. There's a bit of a split beginning to emerge now, particularly as GARPY is delaying this. He's trying to protect the entryway. Tox still flying on through. Can't connect with the second either. We're still at 0-0.
You gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. Back on land, live event, first map of group play, and it's just a chess match. Nobody wants to drop the first frag. At this rate, it could be the winning frag, and 2 absolute legends going at it right now. GARPY makes his way to the rockets, trying to find that rail lane. Might find it and just misses with the flick. Toxic doesn't miss with his. He wants to push in. Good rocket from GARPY. Needs more. LG on LG. Toxic smells blood. Ghost Walk forced out. Both players extremely weak. GARPY will spawn back onto that Mega, but no armor. Toxic takes lower armor. What a rail from GARPY. And Toxic now, he's stuck on that side of the map. He's already taken the resources. What is he going to do?
I mean, this is the opportunity for GARPY. He himself is hesitant. He knows what the heavy's up. He has no Ghost Walk, though. It's a big problem. Rocky is close to Tox. Tox is restacking, but GARPY has got the momentum in his favor. Now he nearly has that Ghost Walk up. He can't push that advantage. Very few grapples with Tox. He would have burned them. At least one up. Still time to contest this Mega. GARPY's taking his time. That first miss round means he doesn't want to push in. Can't hit the second either. Tox restacked. Look at the balance of this 40. Back and forth. This time Tox is going to get the upper hand. GARPY has to be a little bit careful. Pushing, and you said it. One frag is likely to be the winning frag at this point, even though we have 4 minutes to go. We've already seen how slow it is. If you get on the back foot as a line, it's difficult to get back into it. So both are going to really bide their time, wait for that perfect opportunity.
GARPY waiting down below. Here's the hook above him, makes his way to the Mega, but Tox all over it, on top of it, literally. 6:30 and still 0-0 as GARPY. He's just forced onto the low ground now. What can he do? Look at LG from around the corner. Does not connect. GARPY, trying not to get stuck, has the Ghost Walk if things go horribly wrong here. Tox, a merciful god, makes his way over to the heavy and has a gigantic stack to work with. And GARPY now just has to try and figure out how to survive. Sees the hook, little bit of rocket damage, a lot of LG, and Ghost Walk immediately. Doesn't want to take a lot of damage, gonna fight for this next Mega. He might die on it, Dan. This is it. Tox takes him down before the Mega spawns.
Yeah, at that point, you know, he was stuck in 2 minds. He waited for a second too long, thought he had to commit. I don't even know he had proper timing. It was so early for that. And that is potentially a game-losing mistake from GARPY as he's on the back foot. He spawned. LG's side doesn't have anything to work with. Tox knows that. This is why he's pushing that advantage. He has 2 grapples up if he wants to chase. If he connects with the rail, he's undoubtedly going to try and finish this set now. But actually, as you said, Merciful got Tox. He lets him live again. Is he going to come back to be haunted by that decision?
It's a little late for the Mega, so even the rail, he needs a follow-up to really make it worth it. He's finding the angle.
No!
Okay, he is! He was hunting! Tox was on the download screen right there, down, but he finds it. That's 2 rails, almost a third right there, but 2 frags for Toxic, and he's up, and there's not a lot of time left for GARPY.
No, I mean, you're looking at this thinking, it's only 2 frags, but the question is, GARPY hasn't shown an awful lot of how he's going to get a single frag, let alone doubling that. Within 2 minutes remaining, Tox has plenty of time now to just control this rail, and that is the weapon he needs to control. As I say that, he actually goes toe-to-toe with GARPY. He thought he had the stack, but he's actually losing out on that engagement. GARPY has to retreat himself, doesn't really have enough ammo, I would say, to get the frag. But all Tox needs to do, Gordy, is not give up this rail. And at that point, he can play the distance game, and there is 0 chance GARPY can get a frag.
Everybody wants me to bring it up, but I'm not going to bring it up. The thing that we always talk about with Tox late game. But here we go. A lot of machine gun taking Tox down to 61 HP. He's dropping down for the lower armor. Mega's up, but he's going to make a mad dash to the heavy. GARPY with a little bit of a read here. He has him pinned. That's the frag he needed. 120 left on the clock, and GARPY, can he clap back? Perfect rotation to the Mega. Lower armor's up if he wants. He's going to go aggressive with the Ghost Walk and try and cut off this rail. As you said before, Tox just trying to hug the wall and stay away. 1:10 on the clock.
Someone's so experienced, he just lacks the basics sometimes. Yes, you didn't say it, but you said it.
I didn't say it.
All I said is don't give up the rail. What did he do?
Okay, we need the sensor button. Less than a minute now. GARPY on the hunt. First map of groups in Group C between Tox and GARPY. Missed rail. Not that time. GARPY actually drops down. That could be critical here. Is he going to go up the jump pad? He has to risk it all, and Tox says no. He wants to end the map with that, and GARPY's just in a horrible position right now.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. With 30 seconds to go, he can obviously get this heavy. Tox is going to try and contest it, at least to try and do some damage and delay. GARPY has the Ghost Walks, he has to contest, he's giving it up. I mean, fight's nowhere at this point. Praying for miracles, and they just will not come for GARPY. He can stick around, but what can he do? And that will settle it with 15 seconds to go. Tox clutches map 1 in what should have been a fairly easy victory. Despite all that happened, he does close it out.
There it is. Ice in his veins on that. It's all different then.
Yeah.
A little bit of the same, but look, he found his footing at the end. GARPY unfortunately couldn't clap back enough, and Tox did just enough. 3-1, taking map number 1. And again, every map counts. You win the 2, you're out. There's no third map for funsies here. This is LAN.
Yeah, so that was Tox's map, I believe. And we're moving on to Molten, which is GARPY's pick. I don't have the champions in front of me, but you know, one would expect Tox to win that. He played a champion he could. Okay.
Strog Galena.
And I'm gonna say the Tox is on the Sordak? No,
Strog.
Sorry.
Strog, yes. He gets a slidey champion, indeed.
Okay. Interesting. I mean, I think they both got champions they're pretty happy with, but once again, you know, when you're giving Tox that latitude with the speed and the crouch sliding, if he can get ahead of Steam, which he wasn't able to do in map 1, GARPY did a pretty good job in putting a containment on that duel. But if you give Tox that latitude, that's when he can really blow it open.
I don't know why you looked at me when he said that, Dan. But yes, again, map number 2, this is critical. GARPY has to clap back, send it to a third for a tiebreaker, but 10 minutes separate, you know, these players from getting their first dub or their first loss, and it could be just, I don't know, man. I don't know. There's a lot on the line with these groups. It's crazy. It's
meant to be a short day for us, but I guarantee you all 4 groups are going to go into some sort of spiral of overtimes and tiebreakers. So it could be a long one, but you know, no one wants to say, you know, go home on map 1, series 1. So let's pray.
Yeah.
Let's pray for the entertainment gods to give us a 1-1 once we move into the decider at least.
Look, whether you like it or not, some of these players are going to end up spectators by the end of the day. That's just the way the show goes.
Maybe they'll replace us.
I don't think so. Maybe, yeah. Yes. This guy.
I mean, it's the B stream. Literally no one's watching this.
Yeah, there's like 3 people probably. Hi. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you all. Again, live from Dallas. It feels pretty good to be back. No frills here. We don't have any graphics for you. We're just waiting on the second map to load between these players, and we'll get right back into it.
Yeah, it's B for budget.
B for beak. B for bodybuilding? No, I don't know. I feel like we're on like the Twins reboot here. We got Schwarzenegger. I'm Danny DeVito. I don't know if that's kind to either of them, but it feels that way, doesn't it? So, anyways. And if we go to a third map, it will be Vale. No, Molten Falls. I'm a liar. Yeah, we're going to Ruins. I can read. It's Ruins. It changes everything.
You just lied to me.
I lied to the stream too. Look, we're getting our footing too. Okay.
Well, that changes.
There's a lot of pressure.
That changes the Galena pick a lot because Galena on Molten, you have to play an ult. I mean, you have to play a slow game on both, but at least on Ruins, you can actually put a lot more pressure on by controlling the high ground as well.
Yes.
You don't have the luxury of Molten, so that changes the dynamic even more.
Yeah, well,
thank you for the misinformation.
I like to keep people on their toes. Here we go. We're live on map number 2. Again, all the pressure on GARPY as we see Ruins of Sarnath. And we might see GARPY try and favor this heavy with Galena, getting that overstack going. Can do what he wants. Diving in. Tox is like, need a rail. Excuse me.
There you go. That's Tox things when you give him a crash light champion. He is happy to press the advantage. Pressing that W key, or in Tox's case, mouse 1. Get the reference. Deep music. music going on in the background here as well, just to
Live
give it
events, you gotta love
a
it.
bit more atmosphere. And
Oh no.
GARPY's there, he's on time. Tox actually quite a lot of damage. Almost back with the rockets, he's still got the damage. He's got GARPY on the ropes, but not healthy enough. You know, if this was the QPL, I think he might have pushed
Look
that.
at GARPY's weapons. He had nothing. He literally had nail and machine gun, finally dropping for LG. Still doesn't have rockets, and we know how good GARPY is with rockets, so I'm surprised he didn't at least make a quick detour to try and get that, but instead he's trying to put a little bit of damage and put pressure on Tox with really nothing to his name.
He's already feeling a little bit of pressure from just the speed Tox is willing to play at. It makes him uncomfortable, and as you say, without the right weaponry, he doesn't want to make himself known on the map because of that vulnerability, the crouch sliding.
He healed in the
Just
power
catches so
of
much
the
guard, and
ancients.
GARPY's done well to manage that pressure at the moment. He's able now to make his way across towards that rocket. Items are pretty much on the same time. There is 5-6 seconds between the two, so there is enough to control this Mega and keep the pressure up on the Heavy. Probably not take it as Tox in position, but GARPY's done well.
LG! Oh, GARPY, he's gonna try and get out of here, switching to rail. Does get out safely, but he is so hurt. That was just immense LG from Tox as he claims that Mega.
This is now
My life
moving into what would be a more
sustains
traditional
you.
ruins to trading the items. You would expect the Galena to want to play in this area down in the Heavy because obviously you can build that Totem Fortress, you can get that overstack. That's something you want to be trying to play around. At the moment, GARPY's been forced to burn the totems to stay alive. Now, somewhat stabilizing. This is already down by the Heavy.
Help totem initiated.
And I like that pivot. Took a rail and said, you know what, I know you're down here, I'm just going to go grab the Mega. But again, as a Galena, you do want to favor the armor since you have totems in the pocket, but his hand was forced. There's not much he can do, and GARPY wants to play really slow, calculated, because this could be the last map in the set.
That is a scary thought, my friend.
So early on, yeah.
Tox has tried his luck to push his advantage, but unable to do so. And as you said, GARPY has been pivoting his strategies just to stay alive in this set, to trade the items. And at the moment, Tox, for the pressure he's been trying to put on, isn't being proactive in alternating the timings, trying to offset the timings. You know? He's quite happy just to pick up his starting stack, his
Death
major
is the
items,
only
and allow
release.
GARPY some
I
breathing.
will not grant you that privilege.
We'll see how that plays out, but GARPY's going to, as I said, be happy to play down here, and there you go. Opening rail exchange from Tox, going to go and try and get aggressive, but nice angle from GARPY as well. And this is where he wants to be.
Clip the shoulder on that one, and an easy one for GARPY. As the jump over comes over from Tox, he's going to be able to claim the Mega without much issue, as GARPY really doesn't want to deal with it. He wants to control this heavy area. Again, no risks from GARPY on this one. He cannot afford it.
Absolutely, and this is what would be now a stereotypical Galena game. You're never going to be able to keep up the tempo of the stroke, particularly when it's in Tox's hands. So GARPY's just going to sit down here, spam out his totems. Just pray Tox doesn't jump in. He does. Quake is also running very low on ammo for the rockets. That's why he has to stop into that LG. So for all of the hard work he's getting down here, Tox is trying to break through that shell.
Indeed, he tried. GARPY had one totem in the pocket. Now he's up to two. We'll get the overstack, and this is a big LG fight out in the courtyard here. Tox.
Wow.
Oh, the rocket misses and the rails. Both players miss. That would have been a frag either way. Very critical here. Mega's going to be up, but GARPY looks like he might favor heavy again, but he needs rockets, so he has to make a choice. He's going to dabble in here and make sure that he grabs at least one of these. It looks like a T-Con. He wants to stack back up, and he can really dictate based on what he wants now, as Toxic has actually slipped down and taken out all the totems for GARPY.
Yeah, I mean, the totem strategy has been forfeited at this point. It's going to be combat, it's going to be restacking. That's still a very good use of that ability. But what we just saw actually is now Tox has to respect GARPY. He tried to force it and was unsuccessful. Probably should have gone down. GARPY couldn't finish the job. And so this is why we now see this slow play from Tox. He thinks he has to now play a little bit more strategically than just trying to bully his opponent. I think for GARPY, it's can he play the long game? Can he frustrate Tox into making that mistake, right? We know, as gifted as Tox is, he's not always the most clinical when it comes to perfect execution, the timing and the strategy, and that's what GARPY is hoping for, that Tox overextends, overstays his welcome, and gives up a frag. And like last map, it could be one frag that makes the difference.
That's what you're telling me, Dan? After all these years, the key to beating the Terminator is just make him bored?
I mean, yeah. Not even lying.
Well, Toxic will pick up another Mega. Both players with very, very big stacks. Like rappers, damn. 5:30 in, still 0-0. This set is very calculated and just respectful. Everybody knows what's on the line. That's a big rocket and sent in Zapika. He takes it down. Tox wants to make sure that he's viable here to fight. But a Tox bolt. Might see some more of that, avoiding these rockets from GARPY. Big rocket into a rail. This is GARPY's chance. He has to push. A little bit of tri-bolt. Tox makes his escape, and a great defensive rocket that almost evens it up. GARPY still looking for that angle. Still looking. Upper armor goes to Tox. He doubles back onto the Mega. Can he cut off Tox? A little bit slow. That's going to cost him. Here's the push from GARPY. He should be able to at least cut off. But Toxic with the double back, he's going to get the heavy.
I mean, what I just saw makes me want to quit casting.
You can walk over there and talk to him, Dan. We're on land.
I'm going to. I'm going to unplug their PCs and unplug in their brains. I don't know how GARPY made such a hash of that situation. The decisions he made gave up the two advantages he could have taken advantage of, either frag or control, and he got neither. That is worrying for me, 40.
That was, I don't know what you think. Nerves, maybe? Just, I don't
trash.
know what.
I think trash.
They can hear you, Dan. 6:45, 0-0. Tox still in this after just being a 12 HP back to the wall, and GARPY could not capitalize to get the frag. Will it come back to haunt him?
I mean, I hope not, but yes, I think it will. But that is, we've seen now 7 minutes of gameplay. That is the only opportunity really anyone had to make a frag. There's been twice GARPY should have finished his opponent, but that one he should have taken and run with it. Unfortunately, he didn't. I do think Nerves just can't afford to make those mistakes against anyone in this tournament. And now Tox is pushing in, and now Tox gets the frag.
And he made it look easy. GARPY with those rockets just coming up short. Tox just baited, and he wasn't even pushing in until he had enough LG damage. There's the Strog follow-up. The peeker. Yep.
There we go.
Just like that.
And this is what happens. We said it. You give Tox that breathing room, that advantage, he will run with it. And unfortunately for GARPY, he ended up making that mistake, giving Tox what he needed to run away with this map. And at this point, with 2 minutes to go, GARPY has to spend another 30 seconds, another minute, stacking back up, getting the weapons he needs. And then what time is left for him to chase down a Strog? Yeesh.
Yeah, it's not pretty. Still 2 minutes. There's still time. He found a way to save a little bit of Tox bolt, but again, he can just play hyper defensive, use that mobility to get out. But look, this is Tox. He doesn't even want that. He smells blood and he wants it. He's going to add to the body count. 4-0, putting his stamp on it. Map number 2. Looks like he's taking the series in 2 as GARPY tries his best to do anything. Can't really connect with the nails. This might be a rail frag. Nope, maybe another peeker. Just a little bit here, but yeah, I mean, a minute 40, less than that, and 4 frags on Ruins. It's just that critical moment that GARPY didn't capitalize on the 12 AP. Like you said, didn't get control, didn't get the frag, and it all came just back to haunt the man. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I can hear him crying from here, I think.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised, because it doesn't entirely shatter his tournament hopes. It doesn't take his future out of his hands entirely, but it is a massive setback, as now he is forced to win his next set, and also hope that Toxic wins his second. So, massive advantage for Toxic. I think we have to look at the context of this and say, you know, it wasn't the best display we've seen from Toxic winning, even though he won 2-0. But we did see better discipline. There were still some chinks in the armor, if you will, but not quite the same online chinks that we saw that would just completely set him back and ruin his series of ruin his hopes. This time,
I see what you did there with the Ruins, but I like that. I like that, Dan.
it doesn't work when you call it out, man.
I bring out the best in you, but Group C does also have Sparty as the third player, so GARPY's work is cut out for him. It's not going to be a rollover. He can't just get back into the group. It's Tox, GARPY, Sparty. Tox is going to win this one as he just gets to sit here and enjoy the 4-0. And yeah, you're going to replay that in your head over and over again. A pivotal moment in this map where GARPY could have taken control with the frag, or full control of the map, inevitably leading to the frag, but Tox somehow survives, gets away, and just makes it look a little bit easy in the span of a minute and a half.
And this is, on the other side of things, you know, the story of GARPY's career. So near, so far, across the board, right? Like, you've seen him time and time again, puts in a lot of good work throughout series and tournaments and plays what is a fairly comprehensive set, and yet it's just some basic fundamentals in critical moments that you can only put down to, as you say, nerves or a bit of a mindset shift that costs him everything at the end of the day.
That thing we talked about. That thing we talked about that we shouldn't talk about on the cast, Tox just shattered that. And he showed that, hey,
Yeah.
I can play late game, I can play disciplined, I can pull through, and I can get the W, and that's fantastic. And that's Tox on LAN, and that's it for the first set of the day here at the B stream. We're going to take a quick break, and we're actually going to be back with another match.